If you've ever felt that quiet, nagging sense that you're falling behind because you're not investing yet, you are definitely not alone. It's a constant, low-level hum of pressure, a feeling that everyone else has figured out some secret you're missing out on. You see friends talking about their portfolios, and a little voice asks, "Why haven't I started?" Or maybe you felt a little guilty, even overwhelmed, because every time you open your phone, it's a fire hose of content about stocks, crypto, or some new guaranteed 10x return. The noise can be deafening, filled with jargon and complex charts that make you feel like you're not smart enough or not doing enough. So let's just pause. I want to slow this entire conversation way down for a minute and talk about the foundation that all of that hype conveniently ignores. Let's tune out the noise and focus on what truly matters first. Because for most of us, especially real people with real lives, real jobs, and real bills to pay, the single most important financial move isn't some risky investment at all. It's something far more fundamental. It's building an emergency fund, a simple cushion of cash. And once you truly understand why this is the unshakable first step, a lot of that pressure to catch up just starts to fade. You stop feeling rushed and reactive, and you start building your financial future from a place of genuine stability and confidence instead of stress and anxiety. This is your permission slip to build a solid ground before you try to reach for the sky. Hi, my name is Hank. Before we dive in, let me be perfectly clear. I'm not anti-investing, far from it. In fact, I've spent years studying the markets. I believe building wealth for the long term is a crucial and achievable goal for everyone. Investing absolutely matters. It's how your money grows and works for you over time, thanks to the power of compounding. And we will talk about it on this channel, covering strategies to help you reach your future goals. But through my own experience and research, I've learned that investing works best and feels best after you've built a solid foundation. This means having a dedicated financial cushion that protects you from the inevitable surprises life throws your way. Because without that protection, investing doesn't feel empowering. It feels fragile. Every market dip becomes a source of panic, and every unexpected expense, like a car repair or a medical bill, feels like a potential catastrophe that could derail your entire plan. And money that's supposed to give you freedom ends up giving you anxiety instead. It becomes a source of stress rather than a tool for security. So, in this series, we're going to change that. Let's talk about what actually keeps people financially safe and helps them move forward with confidence, without constantly feeling one step away from a setback. Let's be honest, most people don't rush into investing because it's the right next step in a carefully considered financial plan. They rush into it because of a powerful cocktail of emotions. It's a pressure cooker of feelings, anxiety, impatience, and a bit of greed that can make even the most rational person feel like they're falling behind. This internal clock starts ticking louder and louder, urging you to just do. It often starts with that nagging fear of missing out, or FOMO. You see friends, family, or even strangers online celebrating huge wins, a new house, a dream vacation, a skyrocketing stock. You start comparing their highlight reel to your everyday life, and suddenly, your own steady progress feels inadequate. This creates that constant sinking feeling of being behind schedule on your own financial journey. A schedule that, by the way, is completely imaginary and set by others. And honestly, our social media feeds act like gasoline on that fire, amplifying every success story and making you feel like you're the only one not getting rich overnight. The algorithms are designed to show you what's exciting, not what's realistic. So driven by this urgency, people jump in. They invest without a safety net, without that crucial financial cushion. They skip the foundational steps because they feel they don't have time. And then, inevitably, life happens. It's never a convenient time for a car repair, a surprise medical bill, a sudden job change, or any other unexpected expense. Life doesn't check your portfolio before throwing a curveball, and suddenly, that money you just invested has to come right back out, often at a loss and always with a sense of defeat. This cycle can be so demoralizing that it puts people off investing for years. But here's the key insight. That's not a bad investing decision. That's a stability problem. Your foundation wasn't secure before you started building the skyscraper. You tried to build the roof before the walls were up. This isn't a niche issue. According to the Federal Reserve's latest SHED report, a staggering 37% of Americans cannot cover an unexpected $400 expense with cash. They would have to use credit. That's the cost of a new microwave or 2 new tires for your car. I experienced this just this past November when our over-the-range microwave died a week before Thanksgiving. It was stressful, but thankfully we have an emergency fund. While we did put it on the card for the points, we then immediately transferred the money out of our emergency fund to pay it off in full. That's the power of having a financial buffer. It's the difference between a genuine crisis that sends you spiraling into debt and a simple, manageable inconvenience. It's what gives you the peace of mind to let your investments do their job, uninterrupted. An emergency fund isn't just cash sitting there doing nothing. It does 3 incredibly important things. It absorbs life shocks, it keeps you out of debt, and it protects your investments. Because the worst time to sell investments is when you need the money. An emergency fund gives your investments time to actually do their job, which is to grow over the long term, uninterrupted. That's why this step matters first. This is something people don't talk about enough. Money decisions feel completely different when you have a buffer. When you have an emergency fund, you're calmer, you're more patient. You don't panic sell. You don't reach for a credit card the second something goes wrong. It changes how you experience money day to day. And that emotional stability, not just math, is what allows long-term wealth to actually grow. You don't need 6 months of expenses to start. A simple, realistic approach is, start with $1,000, then work toward 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. Not lifestyle spending, just the basics. And you don't have to build this overnight. Slow and consistent beats fast and stressful every time. Once you have a basic emergency fund in place, investing feels different, because now you're not worried about pulling money back out. You can stay invested during market downturns. You're thinking long-term instead of reacting short-term. Investing without an emergency fund is like building a house without a foundation. It might look fine for a while, until pressure shows up. If you do one thing after this video, let it be this. Build a small emergency fund before worrying about returns. Even a few $100s can change how safe you feel. That safety buys you time. Time leads to better decisions. And better decisions are what actually build wealth. An emergency fund isn't exciting, but it's the reason everything else works. Build things in the right order. Stability first, growth second. That's how money stops feeling unpredictable and starts feeling stable. If this video helped you, consider subscribing. This channel is about practical personal finance, the kind that works in real life, not just on paper.